What is up, you guys? I know you're probably like, what is going on? I've been MIA from my channel for a while now, but it's for good reason because I'm pregnant. For those of you guys that are new here, I'm Olivia, and on my channel I show you how to make delicious foods at home. So it has been literally an emotional roller coaster ride. I have had so many food aversions, which for those of you that don't know, that means that food that you can normally eat and smell once you get pregnant and they were like your favorite foods, now you don't want to smell them, you don't want to eat them. It's been terrible. So that kind of explains why I haven't been able to make any videos. So like the normal foods and stuff, like, garlic, onions, green pepper, stuff like that, I could not smell it at all. Like, I wanted to puke at the smell of it. I'm officially in the second trimester and I could not be happier. Like, let me tell you, the first trimester was just not it for me. In the first trimester, I was having really bad cramps, like on my left side of, I guess, like my uterus area. I was extremely sleepy. This baby literally took all of my energy. Like, I could not, that's another reason why I couldn't record. I was so tired all the time. Like, I would have energy only for like one activity and then I would have to take a nap. Like, I would get up in the morning, I would, brush my teeth and all that good stuff, and then take my daughter to school. And once I took her to school, it was a dub. Like, normally I would come back to the house and record or make a recipe or something. I could not. I had to literally lay it down. So, child, let's get into how I found out I was pregnant. This is why it's been such an emotional roller coaster ride as well. So your girl was going in for her annual physical, taking care of my lady stuff. And the nurse, was asking me questions, about my body, how it's been feeling and stuff like that. And, the only off thing that I told her is that, I noticed that I've been cramping on one side, but I had been wearing like a waist trainer at that time. So I just thought that it was because of that. So it was time for the doctor to come in the room to, do the rest of my actual physical. And they was like, you need to go to the ER right away. I'm like, what you mean I need to go to the ER? For what? And she's like, we checked your urine 2 times for pregnancy and it came back faint positive both times. And I'm totally in shock. Like, I'm like, what? What are you talking about, faint positive? Like, what the hell does that even mean? So she proceeds to tell me that since my pregnancy tests are coming back positive and I'm having cramps on one side, that she believes it's an ectopic pregnancy. So I immediately start freaking out, like, oh my gosh, I don't want, this to be a tubal pregnancy. What's going on? What's wrong? So, excuse me. Once I actually got in my car, I started to think like, they didn't do an actual ultrasound. They didn't see inside my body. So how can they just say like it's an ectopic pregnancy, And I started thinking too, like, cramps have to be normal, during a pregnancy because your uterus is actually having to stretch to make room for another human life. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's nothing wrong, but I was still freaking out because I was cramping. I was, feeling pain and stuff like that. So I go to the ER, urine test for me and a blood sample. And me and my husband are there, we're nervous, like what's going on? We're waiting for hours and hours and hours. Y'all know how the ER go. So after waiting for hours, the doctor comes in the room and he's like, oh, I don't know why they told you that you're pregnant because you're not. And yeah, you're not pregnant. I would say that was on like a Wednesday that I went to the ER, and then it was on a Friday or Saturday. I had cooked this amazing steak. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know the steak video that I'm talking about. I made steak with garlic butter mashed potatoes, girl. Oh my gosh. I had asparagus with homemade hollandaise. It was literally one of the best meals that I've ever cooked, and I don't think that I've ever enjoyed a meal as much as I enjoyed that one. So yeah, that night after enjoying my meal, I would say around 3 o'clock in the morning or so, my stomach was literally feeling like, if I could describe it to you, it felt like Freddy Krueger or like Wolverine or someone had like knife fingers in my stomach and they were just going like this. like all inside my stomach. And I'm like, what the hell? This shit is killing me. What the hell? I just wasn't feeling right. Like, I know I have super sensitive stomach. Sometimes to dairy and stuff like that will mess me up. But this was like the worst, like number 2 cramps or whatever you want to call it that I ever had in my life. I had to, out of both ends. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have food poisoning? Like, was something wrong with the food or whatever? But then I started thinking, like, wait, if something was wrong with the food, my husband and my daughter would be sick. But, they were fine. So I'm in the bathroom, child, just bleh, bleh, bleh. And like no one hears me. My husband sleeps like a freaking grizzly bear. He snores like nobody's business. So he didn't hear anything, but eventually the vomiting was so bad that I had to get on the ground on like all fours and, try to get the rest of it out. It was terrible. So I have not had to throw up on all fours since I was pregnant with my daughter. Once I started thinking about that, I'm like, something's wrong here. Like, this probably isn't food poisoning. Like, something's legit wrong with me. I don't know what, but something's wrong. So something clicked and was like, girl, look up on Google, like, if you can eat steak that's undercooked, like cooked medium or something like that when you're pregnant. I don't even know why I had to look that up, because it's like, duh, no brainer. Like, you can't eat, certain shit when you're pregnant, especially not no damn undercooked meat. So, yeah, of course, Google was like, no, your ass will be sick and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what if I'm pregnant? So I showered and stuff like that, because I had to shower, brush my teeth. It was disgusting. Change my clothes and all of that. When my husband woke up in the morning, I was like, babe, you're never going to believe what happened to me last night, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I think that you need to go buy a pregnancy test. So he buys the pregnancy test. And at this point, I hadn't urinated since, that whole fiasco in the nighttime. Morning pee is like the one that has the highest pregnancy hormone. So I was like, I'm trying to hold it, hurry up, go ahead to Walgreens. He comes back home and he's in the bathroom with me and we're taking the test. So freaking nervous. And like, I have only been pregnant one time in my life, and I had one baby from that pregnancy. I've never been pregnant again after that, obviously never had any more babies. And it was just really nerve-wracking, because to be completely, honest with you guys, like, my husband and I had been on the same page for years, obviously. Like, okay, we're good with one kid, we don't need another one. But I would say for like the past year or so, which I have my sister to thank for this, because she had the most amazing little girl who's just so sweet, like a year and a half ago. And, since her coming over and, my husband being around her, and she just takes to him so well. She's so lovable. She'll let him, watch her, hold her, everything like that. It's just super sweet. She'll even sleep with him. It's the cutest thing. So I think that kind of like warmed him up to the idea of, okay, I want another baby. Other than that, he was also mentioning that, he thinks he wants another kid and stuff like that. And I'm like, I thought we was on the same page. Like, what you talking about? But after a while, I started to warm up to the idea. I guess you could say how I went so many years without getting pregnant was because the intention wasn't there. I believe a lot in your intentions. Like, I think everything you do should be done with intention. And when it comes to your intention of whatever you do, that's what's going to be what comes back to you. So if you do something, good with bad intentions, you're not going to get like a good karma back. You know what I mean? If you do something good with good intentions, at the end of the day, it's all about your intention. Like, that's what's going to come back to you. So we had been, together for years, doing a thing, whatever. And it just, never happened, never had a slip up or anything. Like, once our intention, like both of our intentions changed and our intentions like lined up together. It happened rather quickly, like almost right away. Anywho, back to the pregnancy test. So I, did whatever on the first stick with the lines, and it came back really quickly, like with just one line. So my husband kind of like put that one on the sink, like, I think this one's negative, but we'll give it some more time. And then the digital one was taking forever and a year to come back, like forever. It just kept blinking and blinking and blinking and blinking. And my husband, it was so cute. He's like, shaking, like, but I don't think he realized that he was shaking, and he was trying not to show it. Like, he's like with the stick, like, my husband's like, yeah, this one's still negative, but what about this one? And he picks up the digital one, and it says, yes, clear as day. And he's like shaking, like, what about this one? And I'm like, I cannot explain to you the feeling that I felt. I was so shocked and happy, and like, we just hugged each other and was like, oh my gosh, this is real. And I think the hardest part was trying to hide it from my daughter, because she's so, when I tell you up my ass, she's up my ass. Yeah, she acts like she's my mom. She acts like she's my sister. She acts like she's my best friend. She acts like she's, everything. Like, she's coming like, I don't need nobody else but her. Like, she even will tell me like, mommy, is your period here? Like, I didn't see no blood this month or whatever. And I'm like, girl, mind your business. But she's like that. Like, she's been wanting a sibling like forever. And she's smart enough to know that no period equals you're pregnant. So she basically was keeping track of my period in a nutshell. After I took the home pregnancy test, I went back to the hospital. So I was like, can you guys do like an intravaginal ultrasound or something? Which is the one where they go like inside and they can see the baby that way, instead of just doing it over the top of your stomach. And plus I was still cramping too. So I was like, y'all need to like find out what's going on. So they did do the ultrasound for me. And they took another blood test, which pissed me off because the first one did not go well. It was just a mess. Like, how many times they had to stick my arm to try to get the blood. My arm was sore still. And then the other arm is like, there's not really a vein showing, so they can't stick that one. So I had to stick the same arm again. So I was not happy about getting a second blood test. But anyways, they took my urine again, and then, waited for some more hours. And then they finally came back and told me that, okay, you are pregnant. And they were like, well, I do apologize. The provider that you saw should not have told you that you weren't pregnant, because you were. It's just that your pregnancy hormones were super low. It was at like 11 or something like that. But today it's at 100, something like that. And I'm like, can I sue y'all then? Because what are y'all talking about? Like, why would they tell me I'm not pregnant and I am? So the next thing was to tell our daughter. So I found out I was pregnant on, I want to say December 4th of 2022, which it seemed like Christmas was right around the corner, but at the same time, it seemed like so far away. She actually had this like dream where she would literally, I'm not kidding you guys, like, I think intention is so important, and like speaking things into existence is important, because I think that that's exactly what she did. So for years, she would ask for siblings, stuff like that. And she would draw pictures of her finding out that she's getting a sibling on Christmas. So I was like, I do not want her to find out before Christmas. I was like, we have to make her little dream come true, So we thought of a really cute idea to do for Christmas. Well, here's the video.
Now make a wish.
Okay, make a wish.
Carefully. What's up? What?
Needless to say, guys, she was so excited, just over the moon. I was so happy with her, reaction and stuff like that. And I think she's going to be a great big sister. I think she's going to be super responsible and super helpful and all of that good stuff. And I'm looking forward to, guys, I'm so thankful that I'm feeling better. pray for me that I keep feeling good, because it's like I'm finally, once I hit that second trimester, it's like I finally started to get, you know, my energy back. I don't throw up, knock on wood, because I literally hate throwing up. It's one of like the worst things for me. I've always hated it. I'm working on new videos and stuff like that for you guys, new recipes, and I got some other stuff in the works too that's outside of YouTube. But yeah, I cannot wait to see you guys again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Drop a comment. If you are new here, please subscribe to my video, and I will see you guys next time.